Hello everybody and welcome to the O3 Transport Plan. My name is Tom Newton. I've studied public transport for over 40 years and I worked as a bus driver for Dublin Bus. I discovered the main flaw in public transport. The radial system, like the spokes of a wheel, everywhere went by the city centre. This has cost millions and even hit the trillion mark over time throughout the world. I came up with a solution called the O3 Transport Plan. How I discovered this plan: as a bus driver, on my inward trips I found the bus was full and empty on the way out. The reverse happened in the evening time. I discovered that this was happening on all routes and this was causing massive capacity waste throughout the whole system. I also discovered a simple solution to the principles of public transport known as the SDLP, easy to remember because they're a political party in Northern Ireland. Now the SDLP are: S stands for suitability to suit the user, D as direct as possible, L is for linkage, for proper link-ups and adequate connections, and P is the price at reasonable cost. If we keep to these simple principles, we can have one of the best public transport systems in the world. This solution, the O3, Orbital 3, consists of 3 orbitals. There's just one section in each of the orbitals to be completed and we have the whole plan in action. Now I'll move on and explain Orbital 1. This is Orbital 1, the inner orbital for the city centre. This orbital comprises of 2 circuits, one for mainline rail and one for Luas. The mainline rail section starts at Houston Station, goes to the Phoenix Park Tunnel, goes up to Cabra, goes on to Glasnevin, Drumcondra, Croke Park, and into Connolly Station and into the Dockland Station. This is Orbital A on the map. Orbital B is the Luas orbital in the city centre. The Luas line, the red line, comes into Fatima, into Houston Station, into O'Connell Street, Dockland Station, down to O2. The green line comes into Stephen's Green, into the city centre, via the BX Luas line, into O'Connell Street, up to Grangegorman Educational Campus and up to Cabra. To make this more effective, we put in a small link of Luas line from Fatima to Stephen's Green, a distance of just 1¼ miles. This is known as the G-link or the green link. How this makes the system very effective. It allows the red line and the green line users to go direct to any part of the city centre. It takes almost an hour off users coming in the red line, going to Stephen's Green for the return trip. It also allows people coming in the red line to go to Stephen's Green and go out the green line, or vice versa. This avoids users having to come into Houston Station, to go into the city centre, to go back out to Stephen's Green. To complete this orbital, to make it into a full block system, we extend the green link line from Stephen's Green, the dotted section on the map, up to Leeson Street Bridge, to Bagot Street, to Barra Street, over the new Beckett Bridge and into Dockland Station. This completes the block system and allows people to go to any direction in the city centre. This maximises the Phoenix Park Tunnel. It also maximises the Dockland Station. The Dockland Station is no longer a dead-end station. Users coming into Dockland Station can change over to Luas, and within minutes they're over at Stephen's Green area. Now we'll explain in the next phase how the block system gets maximum potential. This is the Luas block system. This is the red Luas line and the green line going right through, and this is where we showed you already. We link it up in block formation in the form of a square. We already have 4 main rail archways coming into the city, 4 doubles. On this one here we have the Northern line from Belfast, and we have the Hode, Malahide, Dart line into the city centre. Here we have the Braid Dart line, along with the Wexford-Wicklow line coming into Dublin. Here we have the Kildare line, the local line going as far as Portlaoise, This, along with the Galway Westport line, the Limerick, Cork and Waterford line, all come into Houston Station. And the final part of the block of the archways coming into the city is the Sligo line with the local Clonsilla and Maynooth line coming into the city centre. This, along with over 20 provincial bus routes coming in on a daily basis, several private buses coming in, and many Dublin buses coming in. This block system is able to disperse these users to any part around the greater area of the city centre. The great advantage of this system, it can take users within walking distance of any area around this part of Dublin. It's also ideal for tourism, to let people see our great city centre area, and especially in our climatic wet conditions. But most important, it's very valuable to people with disabilities. It takes them right around to within very close to any destination without unnecessary changing. It also prevents overloading, a major problem with people with disabilities. This block system, Lewis, around the centre, is so good that even if we doubled or trebled all the modes of transports coming into the city, this block system is able to disperse those people quite evenly right around. It has a maximum potential. Even if we brought in tenfold the number of people, this could also cater for that demand, because the Luas system in each direction can have a frequency of one tram every minute. It doesn't require any additional trains, or very few additional trains. When the green line comes in, this tram can do one or two trips around and go back out again, similar for the red line. And this is how we maximise the two Luas lines, the whole rail system, for the benefit of Dublin. This was the greatest thing, this Luas, to come to Dublin. This is Orbital 2, where we link up the whole system on the outskirts of the city. This map here shows you the existing rail lines in and out of Dublin. Here we have the northern line going up towards Belfast, the southern line going down towards Bray and Wexford. Here we have the Kildare and Cork line going out to the countryside, and here we have the Maynooth line going out to Maynooth and over to Sligo. We also have here we have the red Luas line coming down to Tallaght and going to Saggart, and here we have the green line coming from Stephen's Green going out to Dundrum and continue out to Bride's Lane. What we do in this case to link up the whole system is we link the Luas line here from Saggart to the Lucan station at Adamstown, a distance of 3.2 miles, the 10 dots on the map. And we link the same station at Lucan Adamstown to Leixlip, a distance of 3 miles. This completes the outer orbital network on this map. But to complete the full orbital, we come up with a new concept called Railbus. Railbus is just a bus draped in rail colours. It's used to link rail lines together. It's used in areas where the cost is too prohibitive to put in a rail line for the moment, or the demand is not sufficient at the present time. This rail bus will operate from Clonsilla to Blanchardstown, to Finglas, DCU, Ballymun, the airport, and over to Holt Junction to join the Northern Line, and in via the port tunnel into the city centre. On the south side, this rail bus will operate from the Luas at Tallaght down to Dundrum to meet the green Luas line into UCD for the University College, into Ballsbridge, Sandymount, down to the O2, right, at Dockland Station and into Connolly Station. This completes the orbital network on the outskirts for Orbital 2. The great advantage of this system is it benefits users on the outskirts and people coming from further afield by provincial buses or by mainline trains, which will stop at Adamstown. Adamstown will become a very important station. This people coming in wants to meet this orbital line to make the connection and be brought or direct to wherever they want to go. Instead of having to go all the way into the city centre, out to their destination, and having to repeat that on the return journey, this takes hours off the travelling time for many users. Another great advantage of this, linking up this orbital on the outskirts, is it creates the industrial corridor from Tallaght right around to Blanchardstown, where more and more jobs and activities can form, creating a balance for public transport that will reach full potential both inwards and outwards at all times, to reach maximum potential as much as it can. This is the ideal solution to benefit all users in Dublin and the country users as well. This is Orbital 3, the Airport Rail Orbital. This is the most important orbital of the three. Here on this map here, in red, we have the existing rail lines. This is the Kildare and Cork line coming into the Euston, the Phoenix Park Tunnel. This here is the Maynooth line coming into the city centre. This line here is the Belfast and Dart line going out towards Belfast, and this here is the Bray Dart and the Southern line. What we need to do here to link up the system into an orbital or circular formation is we build a section of rail from Castleknock to Donabate, going through Blanchardstown, Finglas, Ballymun, the airport and Swords. When we put in this section of rail, it will be a Dart line. The whole network is linked up. This means trains from all parts can interact with each other and travel to anywhere they want to go. People coming in the Cork line, that train will go through the Phoenix Park Tunnel, out along the Cabra line towards Castleknock, and an additional line can be put there if necessary, branch off at the Park station and run along the edge of the M50 on space that's already there, serving Blanchardstown, Finglas, Ballymun, the airport and Swords, and continue out. Then you on to Belfast. Trains coming in, the Dart line. The Dart will extend from Malahide to Donabate and come in by Swords, Airport, Ballymun, Finglas, Blanchardstown and into the city centre. Or the Dart can go vice versa in either directions. People coming on the trains from Bray can come right through. This has two choices as well. It can go to the Belfast line and come in by the airport and into the city centre. Or it can go out by the Cabra section and out by Blanchardstown, Finglas, Ballymun, the airport and Swords. This is the great advantage because it benefits all of Dublin and benefits all of Ireland. Now I'll explain to you there are 10 main advantages. One, it's a balanced rail for Dublin, particularly on the west side. It benefits all Dublin and all Ireland. An extra rail from Northern Ireland, leaving more capacity for the Malahide line. Gives a direct rail link from Belfast to Cork, and no changing. Doesn't overload the lines. Avoids taking users unnecessary by the centre. A rail service to Blanchardstown, Finglas, Ballymun, the airport and Swords. It's the shortest route to the airport for most. It brings the Phoenix Park Tunnel and the Dockland Station into use, and there's land available alongside the M50, and this can be done for 1/4 of the cost of Metro North. Now you'll see how beneficial this simple solution is to give rail connections from all parts of Ireland to any part of the rail network, including a direct link from Belfast to Cork via Euston Station down the Kildare line and continue on. This orbital is about bus. We're very concerned about bus. We want to ensure the efficiency is increased to make sure we get the proper return from the bus services, because we have an awful lot of buses rolling in the system. We want to get a bigger return. This is why we call it Save Bus. It's easy enough to get into the city centre by bus, but it's difficult to get around the centre, and that's where Luas will come in. The Orbital 3 will help the bus network on the outside to get a balance, and the bus system will bring an equal number of people in and out to get the balance right. But the difficulty we have with the bus system at the moment is on the outskirts of the city. it's difficult to get users to use the bus on the outskirts. We have come up with a new system here called Bus Orbital DDT. DDT stands for Destination Direct Transport. I'll explain to you here, these blue marks here, blue and red, little hubs here. These are transport hubs, bus hubs right around the city. And we intend to show you how these work. We're going to use a pilot scheme in the Clondalkin area here, where we have two major roundabouts, where the Nanga Road and the Fonthill Road join. At this junction here is ideal for a hub to be formed, because we have a bus lane on both sides. We have two major roundabouts for turning. We have traffic lights for pedestrians to cross over, and all we have to put in is bus shelter on both sides. We already have 4 bus routes serving through this junction. The routes are 151, 68, 69, 13 and 76. The only difference under this plan is they all depart at a unified time. And the unified time is on the hour and 30 minutes past the hour, all through the day, from 6:30 in the morning till 10 or 11 at night. This is done like 10 o'clock and 10:30, 11 o'clock, 11:30, etc. all through the day. How this system becomes effective is, if a user gets on one of those 4 bus routes, that's 8 different directions. For example, if someone gets on the bus at Rathcoole, when he comes to this interchange, none of the buses will depart until his bus gets there. Then he changes over to whichever direction he wants to go. He can go to Lucan, he can go to Tala, he can go to Blanchardstown, or surrounding areas. The key to this is it creates reliability and certainty for the user. Now the same system will apply on all the other hubs right around the city. And by doing that, the user has certainty and reliability and can make any connection, and this will encourage more usage of bus transport on the outskirts. There's one more bit for reform I'd like to see with buses. After 9 or 10 o'clock at night, we'd like to see the bus system amalgamated, similar to the Nightlink, but operate at all the stops both in and out to get maximum efficiency and to keep a frequency of high demand that the customers use. This diagram shows you how the radial system and the orbital system combine together to link up, because linking up is the key to the whole transport system. Here we have the blue line is the existing radial system coming into the city from all directions. The red lines is the orbital system. This is the inner orbital comprising of Lewis and the Phoenix Park Rail Tunnel, repeats the orbital there. This is the bus orbital going around in this area here that we showed you already. And on the outer circle here is the rail orbital link where we link there from Tala over to Blanchardstown, and completed by the rail bus right around. This completes the outer circle right around Dublin. The great advantage of this system is it allows the users to go direct to the destination without having to go into the city centre. A user on this line here wants to go over to here. He goes in the opposite direction. That's when you call that reverse passenger flow, and he goes direct to a destination. Someone else might want to go over to here to follow up, make the connection here. Someone else might want to come this direction. The same applies to all areas around the block system. More people are coming in from the countryside, and once they reach the appropriate orbital, they make the change and go directly wherever they want to go. That's keeping within the principle of public transport direct. The same applies to people coming in by mainline trains. The main station under this plan will be at Lucan Station at Adamstown. That will become a key station in the plan. This also forms the industrial corridor right around the city here by having this link and connections in order to get the right balance between public transport. And the efficiency of the orbital system over the radial system is tenfold, and that's a massive amount of encouragement and saving that can be done with this new O3 plan. Roads also play a major part in the O3 transport plan. Dublin has an adequate supply of roads, but it needs one additional road, and that is a new road from the N7 at Racool to the M3 via Lucan Station at Adamstown via Leixlip Interchange. This road is very valuable for a number of reasons. One, to stop the M50 from overloading. Two, to reduce car mileage. And as over 20% of cars using the M50 do a 10-mile return trip too much per day. And this adds up to a lot of mileage over weeks, months and years. The third benefit of this road is it's a service road for the industrial corridor on the outskirts from Tallaght to Blanchardstown. This is very important because the most important element in any transport planning is land use, and this creates the environment for the industrial corridor to set up on the outskirts. And this, by doing so, this creates the balance that is necessary to avoid everything being in the city centre. As well as that, we're in a competitive world to compete for major industries across the world. And Dublin is only a small player in the plan, and they have to produce the sites in that location. It may seem all for Dublin, but in the world sense, we have to go to that area to attract those businesses. And being on the outskirts of Dublin, it's quite near from many areas throughout the country. Car users also benefit in this O3 plan. As with a good public transport system, more people will move over to public transport and leave more space for those people to have to use the roads. It also reduces car mileage because with the industrial corridor, more activity will form on the outskirts and people coming from further afield will have less to travel. And this Urban 3 plan will reduce congestion on the roads and makes the roads safer. So the car users have a lot to benefit from this plan. Walking and cycling are a very important part of the O3 plan because with the orbital going right around, very close to most activities, walking will become very important. And on the outskirts, with this orbital plan, cycling will become very important. So walking and cycling will help also to reduce car numbers, vehicle numbers. That's our aim for the sake of the environment and the carbon footprint. Cost. This is a very important element of the O3 plan. The costs are greatly reduced. It works out about 1/10 the cost of Transport 21. One, because of the efficiency of this system. Two, because there's no costly undergrounds. And three, it makes full use of land use, avails of technology, and uses unused and underused rail facilities. And this keeps the unnecessary having to avail of Metro North. Metro North just could come join up with BX Lewis line, but there's no need for the Dart interconnector, as we now will have 3 rail links to Stephen's Green area. One, the rail line going in from Houston Station up to Stephen's Green, the second one going up via Fatima across to Stephen's Green, and the third one via the Phoenix Park Tunnel going in by Tara Street up to the Barrett Street area, and that's in the greater Stephen's Green area. If we have 3 for little or no cost, it is no need to go for a very costly underground system that anyway at best will run at only 50% efficiency. Before I conclude, there are a few other areas I would like to see rail improvements outside Dublin. From Athenry to Claremorris and from there to Sligo with rail bus because there's too many level crossings and the old line misses out Knock Shrine and Knock Airport. This rail bus can continue to Derry through Donegal. Also reopen the Mullingar to Athlone rail line for another link from the west to Dublin serving students in Maynooth. We want to see more country students from the country staying at home and using public transport to keep lodging costs down in Dublin. To conclude, the O3 Transport Plan maximises land use and ensures bus, rail and Luas work together to reduce car numbers for the sake of the environment and carbon footprint. Our Orbital Plan is the ideal for a sprawl city like Dublin. It maximises land use with the benefit like technology. It takes users direct. Let others know of this O3 plan to ensure Dublin, Ireland gets the great transport plan it deserves at reasonable cost. If you find flaws in this plan or can make it better, let us know. There's more to Ireland than Dublin. Mistakes put projects back decades. Waste puts pressure on staff and the old age pension system. See full plans on www.dublinbus.org. We have the highest level of public transport in the Western world per head of population passing Trinity College. It's no more we need in this area. Nobody has a monopoly in ideas. Public transport must not be used to push up property values. A good public transport system is vital for the economy. O3 makes Dublin and Ireland best for business, entertainment, safety and tourism. Thank you.